All right, so now you've seen how to use the Kahoot website and create quizzes and games and how to use those with your students. But let's talk about how to use it more effectively in the classroom and ways that you can use it kind of more creatively. Because it's one thing to just throw a quiz together and have a fun game in class, but that doesn't necessarily improve the learning that's happening. It can be fun, and fun is a good thing, but there's ways to be more intentional about how you use this tool. And so we'll talk about some of those. One way you can use Kahoot in the classroom is to introduce a topic. So go ahead and put together a quiz of information that you're going to be covering in a unit, and use the quiz and the game to have kind of a fun way to introduce the topic, but also to gauge how much they already know or what connections they've already made related to that topic. Another thing you can do is set this up as a team activity. So you don't always have to just do individuals, especially if you're limited in the number of computers or devices you have access to. If you've got 4 computers, split the room into 4 groups and have a spokesperson be the one that has to hit the button, but the group can combine and share ideas before they make their decision. You can also make the time a little bit longer per question to allow the group to sort of talk for a minute before they make their choice. If you're going to do a team activity, especially if you're worried about students' names coming up and feeling bad about their score if they did poorly or whatever, what you can do is have everybody on the team use the same nickname. So then when the scores come up, you don't know which particular member scored those points, but you just add up all the points for everybody with Team 1 as the nickname. And that's going to allow your students to remain anonymous, but still have fun in the group, working together as a group, but also having their own individual impact on the situation. Another fun way to use Kahoot is to involve another classroom. And so you can do that within your own school. Remember, all that anybody needs to play in the game is the little game code. And then they can jump right in real time. You can also do this outside of your school. I've seen stories of teachers organizing a Kahoot competition with schools on the other side of the planet. You could use Google Hangout to talk to them and set up the game and then share the game code. But once everybody has the code, doesn't matter where you're at, you can play the game together. Another thing that we're trying to get kids to do more and more is to be creative in their learning process. And so it's one thing for kids to always be absorbing information, but ideally we want them to take what they've learned and create it in a new way and pass that on to others. That's where a different kind of learning happens. And so if you have students go through a unit and they've learned new skills or learned new topics or made new connections, have them create their own quizzes and their own games and share those with other students or with their parents or with community members. And that way they're extending their learning by teaching others and being creative in the process. Finally, one thing we didn't cover in the tutorial here was how to use the survey and discussion features, but take a look at those. There's other examples you can see online of those, but you can use Kahoot not just as a competition, but also to get real-time feedback from your students on a topic to gauge understanding, like a little live poll, or you can use it to ask a question and have students sort of contribute their answers and facilitate a discussion that way. So there's a few other ways to use Kahoot. Please take some time and look around online for other ways to use it because it's a powerful tool. It's a lot of fun, and there's many ways to make it work for you as a good tool.